Arnold Schwarzenegger, 7-time Mr. Olympia, global icon, and arguably the most influential bodybuilder in history, is calling out modern bodybuilding. And he's not whispering about it, it's an old talk. Arnold criticized today's judging standards, the obsession with size, and what he sees as a growing problem with bloated, distended stomachs, the now infamous bubble gut.
So what I'm trying to tell the judges is that you got to go and consider, look at everything. Like for instance, so many of those guys have their stomachs sticking out. You know, what are we talking about here? I mean, it used to be that you should have a V-shaped body. Now, I don't know, it's like kind of like a bottle-shaped body or something like that. But it's not, it's a kind of, it's a weird thing that is happening on stage that no one can pull in their stomach anymore for a long period of time and stand on stage with a vacuum and pull in stomach, shoulders out, and to look athletic. So it's all of this, you know, kind of, you know, the stomach sticking out and all of this kind of, it doesn't look right anymore. And so we have to just make sure that we are rewarding the right guys, because if you reward the right guys, then everyone will start training to have a beautiful body again, rather than a powerful body. So we have given the award.
When the man who made bodybuilding mainstream says the sport is at a crossroad, we should all pay attention, because this guy is the founder of the whole bodybuilding scene. So the question is, why is Arnold so concerned, and is he right that bodybuilding is losing its original way? To understand Arnold's criticism, you have to look at what bodybuilding was when he ruled the stage back in the day. In 1970s, bodybuilding was about more than just being big. It was about balance, flow, and the art of human physique. Legends like Frank Zane, Franco Colombo, and Arnold himself weren't just massive, they were aesthetic, athletic, and proportionate. Their bodies looked like sculptures: wide shoulders, small waist, sweeping quads, the kind of physiques that inspired millions of regular people to pick up weight. So as comic books, Arnold's own charisma, intelligence, and humor brought bodybuilding out of the dark basement into the mainstream. Pumping iron turned lifters into household names, and for the first time, bodybuilding was something the general public admired.
You said Arnold's in your top 5.
Yeah.
Okay. You look at this, what do you think about it, you and Arnold?
Well, I'm in a lot better condition, but Arnold just got so big and got so much shape, you know.
So let me ask you, Arnold with a nutritionalist like Chad Nichols at 6'2.5".
Arnold would have been by far the best bodybuilder ever. Look at that shape.
My God.
Look at that chest. Nobody got that, even in the day. He got the biggest chest ever. And if he'd have had our stuff, I'd look like a little boy standing next to him.
Lee Haney's not close to him.
No.
You're not close to him if he had a Chad Nichols today.
No. Well, look at that, though. Look at that. There ain't nobody got nothing like that no more.
But somewhere along the way, the image changed.
When I entered my competitions, you're talking a 32-inch waist with a vacuum. Well, that was no longer the norm. Once Dorian Yates came in after me, the vacuum went away, the small waist went away, it just became about mass. So the mindset of the bodybuilders as of lately has been, let's just get big, and now let's try to train down and get some definition. When doing so, you have to go through all type of extremes to get rid of body fat, which you should have never put on in the first place. We watched every ounce of quality as we developed our physique. So we were never in a quick fix situation. Just think about how this stuff wear on your adrenal system. Then you're doing 8 million miles of aerobics, and you're doing it because the body is only good for so many bumps in the road. I mean, you can destroy a pair of shock absorbers by hitting bump, 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 bump. Where your knees, your back, your shoulders, it works the same way. Train to stimulate, not annihilate. You have to annihilate when you do crazy stuff.
Modern bodybuilding is dominated by a different standard. Size isn't just king, it's everything, like legit everything. Judging has shifted away from symmetry and aesthetics towards rewarding the biggest guy, the thickest physiques on stage, and this has led to what Arnold calls, bad proportions. Athletes with 23-inch necks, distended midsections, and physiques that look more freakish than inspiring to the average gym goer, which I think Arnold is referring to neckzilla. And let's talk about the bubble gut. growth hormone, insulin, and extreme bulking protocols, have created physiques where athletes can't even pull off a proper vacuum pose anymore. Their, waistlines are incredibly wide, the stomachs are so pregnant, and the illusion of a classic V-taper is just disappeared. The thing that made bodybuilding so visually striking is completely gone, and we could probably blame Dorian Yates for this, since he's the one that started this whole evolution of mass monster
bellies.
Yeah, there's a huge debate, and like, what is that?
What is it?
I don't know.
Is it internal organs that are
well,
growing?
Here's the thing. Initially, that's what people thought, right? And my waist started to get a little bloated around 96, 97, maybe 97, when I was using insulin, right? It got a little bloated, a little distended. But when I retired, it went down. And I actually, in England, because I was always like, I'm taking steroids for this sport because I'm a professional. When I'm not competing, I'm not going to take them. So stopped taking them. And also I took growth hormone, and that was the thing. A lot of people think growth hormone is going to increase the size of your internal organs, and that's why guys are getting bloated waistline. So I went and had a battery of tests where they actually measure all your internal organs, and mine were all totally normal. Apart from my heart was a bit bigger and stronger, but that's just normal athletic heart. So that wasn't the case. So perhaps it's fat that's building up around the internal organs, or maybe it's just a lot of water in the intestines and it just bloats the waist out. The short answer is I don't really know.
Who's that guy in the far left?
I don't know.
That's like a turtle shell. Doesn't that look like a turtle shell?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. So that could be insulin. That could be a variety of different things.
We've only seen this kind of thing happening since the guys are using insulin and IGF, which is insulin-like growth factor.
Wow.
So yeah, it's not a good look. It's not a
It's weird. The turtle shell look is so weird. It literally looks like
so
someone.
It's like the guys have got big, but everywhere, systemic, like growth. When you're training with weights, your major muscles are going to grow, but not around the waist. Can thicken a little bit, but not that much.
Arnold's argument isn't about jealousy or nostalgia. He's worried about bodybuilding becoming a niche freak show again, admired only by hardcore fans and dismissed by the general public. When the average person sees today's pros and describes them as gross or disgusting, it's a sign that the sport is moving away from what made it so appealing in the first place. This isn't just an aesthetic debate, it's about the survival of the sport. If bodybuilding continues to reward mass over proportions, it risks, aligning new fans, losing mainstream appeal, and undoing the progress that Arnold and his generation fought for. Arnold is arguing judges to rethink the criteria. He wants athletes to be rewarded not just for being the biggest man on stage, but for having the most beautiful balanced physiques. Symmetry, conditioning, posing, and presentation should matter again, not just scale, busting muscle ass niggas. Even calls on fans, magazines, and online platforms to speak up, create pressure, and force a change in judging standards, because if the sport rewards aesthetics again, athletes will start training for aesthetics again, and bodybuilding could finally reclaim its mainstream respect, maybe even earn a place on the Mr. Olympia stage, something Arnold always has dreamed about. But overall, I just think that maybe Arnold is really big nostalgia, but low-key, if size wasn't such a big match on the bodybuilding stage, bodybuilders wouldn't be dying, because living at that size can really kill your heart. Your body is just not capable of pumping as much blood to keep that amount of size on your frame. Arnold's message is clear. Bodybuilding has to find its sweet spot again. It needs to stop chasing freakish sizes and the expense of beauty, and inspire regular people to want to look like bodybuilders again. And I'm sure this guy is referring to Nick Walker with his incredible wide size and weird veiny legs, because at the end of the day, bodybuilding isn't just about being the biggest man in the room. It's about showcasing the most incredible versions of the human body. As Arnold himself says, we do not want to see the biggest man up there. We want to see the most beautiful man up there. Pause. But overall, the question is, will the sport listen to Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger, or just continue pushing the weight range to 500 pounds in the next 30 years or whatever? But enough yapping. Leave in the comments. Peace.
Bye. Have a great time.